Alright, so I'm going to tell you the glasses are on your head analogy, and then talk a little bit about inquiry. So in this analogy, the glasses represent awakeness or awakening, or what's realized when awakening becomes clear. And in this analogy, the spiritual seeker is someone who has their glasses. This would be better if I had glasses, but has their glasses on their head, and they're looking around for the glasses. The glasses represent awakening. So for example, you might talk to someone who has realized this, and then there will be a pointing, so pointing to inquiry, and then that would come about in that you would point and say, you're looking in the wrong place, you've already got the glasses are on your head. So then the spiritual seeker kind of questions that a little and goes, no, the glasses they have to be over here, I've been looking for them, I can't find them. And then maybe brings the glasses down from on top of their head so they're looking through them, not realizing that they're looking through, they're looking from what they're looking for. It's already there. It's what they're using to see, it's what they're using to seek. So then the pointing gets a bit more specific, and we're like, the glasses are on your face, and they're like, no, I don't quite get it. And are they here? Are they over there? And then maybe someone might hold up a mirror, and then you see in the mirror, the mirror represents a spiritual experience, an awakening experience. They see in the mirror that, of course, the glasses, I'm looking through them. The glasses are on my face the whole time. I had it the whole time. I was looking in the wrong place. I just had to stop for a minute and recognize that I have already what I'm looking for. You're looking through them. By the way, you can't take the glasses off and look at them objectively. You're always looking through them. They're irremovable glasses. So then you move away from the mirror and you say, I'm going to have to go and tell someone about this. You're here. I discovered this amazing thing, and by the time you get there, you've forgotten. You're like, oh wait, I can't see them anymore. It's gone. The glasses are gone. I had this experience where I recognized that I was looking through the glasses, but I can't see that anymore. But of course you can't see it. You can't see it objectively. You can't take the glasses off and look at it. There doesn't have to be a rediscovery of the glasses. We're already looking through them. So the awakening would be really recognizing that, and looking through the glasses. Then now that's known, fundamentally we know that we have what we're looking for. In this case, we are what we're looking for. The whole world becomes a bit clearer. We're no longer distracted by looking for something we already have. We can then start to appreciate the looking itself, knowing that we are always inherently looking through this, looking as this. Analogies are always flawed, but I thought that was a good one. So coming back to inquiry, what we're basically doing with it is we're asking, am I aware of myself? Am I self-aware? And then we're investigating the nature of self-awareness, the nature of knowingness, or whatever you'd like to call it, awakeness, consciousness. I know I am. Unless we're really confused, we'll answer, yes, I know I'm self-aware, I'm aware of myself. So then we're asking, how do we know that? How do I know that I'm self-aware? So then a thought might come in and say, I know I'm aware of myself because, no, we've already moved away from it. The thought appears and it's, whatever you are, you're aware of the thought. The thought is already known. So everything in our experience appears within this self-awareness. It is known. Any thought that we have appears as we are aware of that thought, or the thought is known. So what we're looking for is more fundamental, is closer. You could even say is before the thought. So already then we recognize that the answer isn't going to be in thought. We've tried that. The thought doesn't provide a satisfying answer. And then we can recognize that the thought appears as this self-awareness already. Any thought that appears is already known by what we are. So the answer is not in thought. So then we look a little bit closer and we ask, how do I know that I'm aware? What is the me that is aware here? And do I need to take a position in thought to confirm that? So things might quiet down a bit to the point where it becomes clear that, or it becomes clearer that this self-awareness is inherent. The self-awareness doesn't need a thought to confirm it, to make it so. In fact, as we just explored, the thoughts appear within and as this self-awareness. So we start to experience ourselves as the awareness that is inherently here. We start to experience the self-confirming nature of awareness, the self-aware nature of presence, or the self-aware nature of experience. And it's uncaused. We don't need to do anything to get it. Or you could say all the doing appears within and as that anyway. So then this awakeness starts to become a bit more all-encompassing, a bit less elusive, and a bit more already the case, a bit more inescapable. So then we go even a bit deeper and we start exploring this position. This felt experience, this felt to be real experience of the always here me that is relating to all this, that is relating to my thoughts as the thinker, that is constantly monitoring experience, noticing things and then checking in order to label them as this or that, to label this as awake or not awake. You start to bring these thought functions up into consciousness, so to speak. We start to notice them as such, as thoughts, rather than the fundamental reality of what I am, as this thing separate from my thought experience, which struggles with thoughts, which looks for a more awake experience. We then start to see that whole thing appears within and as what we are: awakeness, knowingness, consciousness, awareness, whatever you like to call it. Now we can make a concept of that, but what I'm talking about here is the direct experience of it. So I can see if have you ever felt anger before? Have you ever felt happiness before? The anger and the happiness, in the way I'm speaking, are concepts that point to an experience. The experience of anger and or happiness are direct. So we're talking about the actual experience here, not a concept that points to experience or refers to experience. The experience of awakeness, the experience of aliveness, that is inherently always here, that all experience is made from, the substance of experience specifically here the thought experience. So we start to see that anything that I can talk about in terms of thought or language to describe what I am, or to label or categorize or monitor this experience, all appears within what I am, all appears as this fundamental and inherent uncaused awakeness, consciousness, knowingness, awareness. So then there's a bit of a relaxation there, and that this doesn't have to be got. This is already the case. So it then becomes less about finding something and more about clarifying and noticing more, embodying more what's already here, what you already are. And we do that by simplifying things. We do that by getting closer to it. And we get closer to it by not adding steps away from it, not adding complexities to it. And those complexities are added through this thought function. The constant chatter of objective thought narratives. The constant thought after thought. The constant need to know and get and describe, to comprehend and to control. So then the whole thing just gets more simple. And then we can start to look at it. What is it that I am that is aware of my experience? What is it that I am that's struggling with thoughts? And we might start to notice that it's not actually there all the time. In the absence of an objective thought narrative, what you are is inherently present anyway. And then the thoughts come online, and when the thoughts come online, there's a different quality of experience when there's identification there, and that we are assuming the position of this subject is something separate from all of this, something separate from our thoughts, from our experience, from our thought experience. The one that holds the thought experience at a distance, as if it's in control, as if it's observing thoughts coming and going. So then we look for that one. What is that one that feels like me, that struggles with thought? What is that one that feels like me, that was trying to wake up, that felt like this awakeness was eluding me this whole time? And we look for it, and then we don't find it. And we keep looking, and we keep not finding it. All we find is self-awareness. All we find is knowingness. But it's nothing you can find objectively. It's the substance of all of it. It can't be pinpointed. It can't be pinned down. It can't be captured or explained. That's why it's free. So then we start to maybe notice that this feeling of the separate subject, this feeling of the thinker, isn't present all the time. You could even say that it's only suggested as a felt reality when the objective thoughts are running with belief. It's only suggested in the context and the content of the relational thoughts. It's a mere assumption, it's a mere suggestion. So that whole thing, that whole subjective position as the thinker, loses a bit of its reality, doesn't feel so real anymore. What becomes more obvious, what becomes more real, is what we are, that's already inherently here, that's uncaused, and is never not here, is ever present. And then we start to notice its qualities. Unfindable, doesn't need to be found, already inherently here. At peace, timeless, no problem in it, free, infinitely flexible. And with that loosening of the subjective position, the whole distinction between thought and thoughtlessness starts to become exposed as merely another thought. Merely another thought-based interpretation of what this is. So then we start to relax those interpretations and we look at thought a bit more closely. Instead of holding back from the thought and fighting with it, we get closer to it. We move towards the thought substance, the thought stuff. So now we're in touch with the direct experience of thought. Not what the thought is suggesting in terms of content. Not what the thought is suggesting in terms of me, the subject that relates to this thought. That this thought all points back to in a personal way. The whole thing becomes a little bit more intimate and a little bit more personal, impersonal. So as we get closer to the thought, as the distinction between the thoughts being formed loosens a little bit, dies down a little bit, we then start to see that there aren't multiple thoughts. What was making it look like there was a subjective background here that was always here in order to observe these thoughts coming and going in a time narrative was merely another thought. So all we can say about it is all there is thought stuff, thought experience. And the substance of that is ever present, is infinite. So with that, the whole thing starts to calm down a little bit. And what we are that's inherently here anyway becomes clear. So because this hasn't happened, it's because we've investigated this thoroughly, it's not then recontextualized into a personal narrative as an experience that happened to me in a linear time narrative. That whole illusion's lost its power. Now we can see that this is inherently the way it is. This is inherently the fundamental fabric of reality, the fundamental fabric of what I am here, what this experience is. It doesn't need to be cultivated or accessed or got or attained in a personal way. It's inherently so. It's inherently self-evident, undoubtable, uncaused. So then you can stop looking for the glasses. Anyway, that'll do for now, and I'll talk to you next time.